Brigade here, and today I'm bringing you another comparison video. This is the Ruger Super Red Hawk chambered in 44 mag versus the Henry Big Boy chambered in 44 mag. No, I'm not really. I'm not going to compare both these guns. Even though they're chambered in the same round, they're obviously very different, and there's very different qualities about them. But what we are going to talk about is the different muzzle velocities you get out of this, because this Ruger Super Red Hawk has a 7.5-inch barrel, and this Henry Big Boy is a 20-inch barrel. So you're definitely going to get a different velocity because the bullets have a longer time to accelerate in the Big Boy rather than the Super Red Hawk, but that still has a pretty long barrel. So we'll go ahead and we have the chronograph out today, and we're going to put, chronograph two different kinds of rounds. Both of these are my hand loads. They're both 240 grain jacketed hollow points with 20, the first rounds have 24 grains of black powder, 24 grains of H110 behind them, and then the second rounds we're going to have 24.5 grains of H110 behind them, and that is the max load I've ever found online. I haven't gone over the max loads, even though I think both these firearms will take it, and eventually we will do an over pressure plus P 44 mag video, but we're just going to work with those and see what kind of velocities we get from these. So let's go ahead and we'll do a little shooting here. All right, so the first round through the chronograph, we're going to run the Ruger Super Red Hawk here, and we're going to shoot 3 rounds through it, and we'll get just a ballpark average of our velocities. But these are my hand loads, 24 grains of H110 over probably a Sierra jacketed hollow point 240 grain bullet. These are hot. These are about the hottest I want to shoot through this. All right, that was 1,432 feet per second. That was 1,418 feet per second. That was 1,449 feet per second. So as you can see, I'm getting pretty good with my hand loads here. Let's pull up the Winchester. Let's pull up the Henry Big Boy and see what that one does. All right, so I got the Henry right here, and this is loaded up in the exact same rounds. Take a look, see what we do here. That was 1,679 feet per second. Let's go for another one here. That was 1,672 feet per second. So we're gonna forget about the third shot there, but my hand loads are getting pretty good. I'm pretty consistent making these. Plus, this is brand new Starline brass, so that definitely helps. But let's go ahead, and I have one set of hand loads that's odder here. These were loaded up with 24 grains of H110, and I got some that are 24.5 grains of H110. So, folks, we got, make sure we're indexed right. We got 3 rounds of max 44 mag hand loads. I have 2 books that I use, and this is the highest recipe I've ever found, and this is not over pressure, and this is this stock loading right here. But these are going to be big ones. And as you notice, I'm shooting this with gloves, this revolver, because it kicks so hard that it actually cuts my trigger finger every time I shoot this with big, heavy 44 mags on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll glove up, and we'll see what kind of velocities we're getting. So the original ones with 24 grains, we were right at around a little over 1,400, let's call it 1,425 feet per second. So we'll see what we get here. 1,499 feet per second. We'll see if this last one will break 15. 1,456 feet per second on that last one, so we'll call it 1,475 from the super hot one. So we got an extra 50 feet per second, ballpark, from an extra half a grain of powder from the revolver. So let's go ahead and we'll bring the Henry up here. (1,724 feet per second). (1,740 feet per second). 1,731 feet per second. My consensus is we got about 225 to 250 feet per second faster with the rifle than with the revolver. I thought it was going to be closer to 300, but it wasn't. You could probably make up some of that difference if you loaded these a little, probably with a little different powder, maybe a little slower burning powder for the rifle. You probably get a little bit more, because I know that H110 is really optimal for revolver use for 44 mags, but the results are nice. So basically we were getting around 1,425 feet per second with the 24 grains of H110, and we were getting almost 1,500 feet per second with 24.5 grains of H110 for the Ruger Super Red Hawk. And for the rifle, we were getting, I think it was 1,725 feet per second with the 24 grains, and we were getting close to 1,800 feet per second with 24.5 grains. So you can see there's about 225 to 250 feet per second difference. So it's interesting. So one thing we'll judge by that is, you can see my hand loads are very consistent. I'm doing a good job making hand loads these days, and I spend a lot of time, and those are my favorite hand loads to make, are definitely 357s, 44s, and 308s. I love making that stuff, and I definitely do those hardcore ones on a single stage press, and you can see I'm doing a good job. My standard deviation is very, very small. But you can see that these make a good pairing right here, that if you have a 44 Magnum revolver, that adding a rifle to it, and it doesn't have to be a Henry Big Boy, but even I highly recommend this rifle, but any other sort of a 44 mag rifle, maybe a TC, Thompson Center single shot rifle, or a Rossi single shot, or a Marlin 44 mag, or something in that nature. But as you can see, you can get more out of the 44 mag. So if you carry one of these for protection or something like that, a 44 Magnum revolver, or maybe the Alaskan, with the 2.5, 3-inch barrel, or something tiny like that for protection, something like this might be a good company, because then all of a sudden you have a good sight radius and you're getting a lot more feet per second. I know I can load these hand loads to get over 1,800 feet per second out of this pretty easily, and very safely too. And so that's definitely getting close to 454 Casull levels. We're definitely up where 30-30 power is. We're way past an AR-15 power. So I think that was something excellent. So you don't have to have two revolvers. I know hunting, and for some bear protection, I know if you're up in Alaska, up in Canada, that this might not be enough, but I have a feeling that this would be, especially loaded with the right projectiles. And the only bad part about this Henry is that this will only stabilize up to a 207 grain bullet. So you'd have to I believe it's a 1 in 38 twist. Let's see if it does not say it, but you could rebarrel this, or maybe find another firearm that has a faster rate of twist where it would stabilize a 300 grain bullet. But even a 270 and 240 grain bullet, coming out of here just about 1,800 feet per second, that's pretty serious stuff. It's definitely going to penetrate pretty deeply. You can also put a hard cast bullet on here instead of the jacketed hollow points I've been using. Last thing I'd like to touch upon, just a combination of these, to have a handgun and a rifle that shoot both the same caliber. It's definitely handy to do. Originally when I bought this rifle, I wanted in 45 Colt, but I'm like, I don't own another 45 Colt handgun, but I do own a revolver, and I wanted something with a little more punch than a 357, even though this is a very interesting in the 357, because it takes a cartridge that's probably maxes out at about 800 foot-pounds of energy, and all of a sudden brings it a little over 1,000. So that's great right there. You're probably getting close to 1,100 foot-pounds at the muzzle with the 357 Big Boy, and then all of a sudden you've got a real hard-hitting deer cartridge there. I mean, that's the same thing as an AR-15 at the muzzle. Is going to be 1,000 foot-pounds with a 16-inch barreled carbine. These make a great combination. It doesn't have to be in. You could probably do this in 454 Casull, 357 Magnum. You could probably also do this in a 10 millimeter. There's other 45 Colt definitely can be done. 41 Magnum, absolutely. Both of these are chambered in a 41. They both strengthen each other and they complement each other, because when I have this on my side and when I'm walking through the woods like this, that's some serious stuff. And I only have to bring one kind of ammo. I don't have to worry about all sorts of different boxes of ammo and different ammo holders and et cetera, and yada, yada, yada. I'm running out of one, but I have ammo for both of them. And they will both shoot hot ammo. So I max out my hand loads, and both these guns, they don't flinch at it. I flinch more than these guns do. Folks, I want to thank you for watching this comparison video. And, you know, if you like it, you know, give me a thumbs up, and feel free to post comments, questions below, and I'll get back to them as quick as I can. But thanks for watching, folks. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up.